outrage as San Francisco boots vagrants off streets ahead of Xi Jinping visit, as California Governor Gavin Newsom admits woke city was only given polish to impress world leaders. Oh, we got the clip for you. I'm going to play it because it's hilarious. Here we go.
I know folks say, oh, they're just cleaning up this place because all those fancy leaders are coming into town. That's true, because it's true.
That's what it takes, huh, Gavin?
But it's also true, for months and months and months prior to APEC, we've been having different conversations.
All right, so here's what I want to say. Imagine having a roommate. There's pizza boxes everywhere. The dishes are all dirty. There's grime everywhere. And you go, dude, I'm paying rent too. Clean up your mess. And they're like, I'll do it, man. Chill. And then one day the dude freaks out and is like, dude, my mom's coming over, and starts cleaning up. You'd be like, WTF, man.
You'd be so mad.
Like, I'm glad you're cleaning up. I'm glad you're cleaning up, but you should have cleaned this place up a long time ago. And this proves you could have done it. I guess the difference in the analogy is, the argument is, oh, it's so hard to deal with, and how do we help these people? And then what do? They put a bunch of like horse troughs along the street to block tents.
Did they go in at 4:30 in the morning with fire hoses and hit them all? Because they've done that before.
They did that in Atlanta before the Olympics. Remember, they like cleared everybody.
There's video of it. You can
cleared
find
everybody out.
I mean,
before
it
the
is
Olympics.
full on fire hosing people's tents and destroying.
In New York, a lot of times they just give people a bus ticket and they're like, "Get the hell out of here."
What's up with that fire? That homeless encampment?
That in LA?
Yeah.
That fire? That also like it was like a massive fire, and it also melted the freeway, and the freeway is now unusable.
Honestly, that's happened so many times. Remember during the pandemic, like I would literally be driving around LA, and it'd be on the highway somewhere, or it would be a fire underneath an overpass. It's like a regular thing that I saw many times.
I was driving out of DC last week with my son, and he was in the car, and he was just like, whoa, what's with all these tents? Why are there all these people just sleeping out here in the street? And I was like, that's our nation's capital, hon.
I got Aaron.
That's what we got going on. With so many people.
Earlier you mentioned like we're all created equal. You were talking about equality and like being there for all of us. But how do you deal with this excess of humanity that lives off of the tit or just is like sick and they just live on the street? Like what's your proposition?
I don't refer to unhoused people as the excess of humanity. The people who are excess of humanity, the people who are destroying this earth, the warmongers, the people who are using populations as sacrificial lambs and killing them, like Israel's doing, like what's happening in Ukraine. But basically, I connect this to foreign policy. Instead of spending all this money on arming Israel and also arming Ukraine, why can't we build homes for people who need them?
Well, I like that. Hold on, that's not a solution.
Why not?
I used to work for a homeless nonprofit. The first question you have to ask is, why is a person homeless? And it's typically not because they're poor. There's other underlying factors that result in them.
That's what I mean by
poor.
the excess of humanity. People that are gone broken.
But right. So the issue is, if you take a homeless person and put them in a house falls apart, house burns down, electrical problems, plumbing problems, maintenance, taxes, property taxes. You can't just make a house and put somebody in it.
Okay, so give them services too, like fund social services to support people who need it.
And now here's where I'll agree with you. I would love to apply a wealth tax, but only to the military-industrial complex corporations. I would love to strip the wealth and tax at 100% all the warmongers and take all of their money and literally, I would totally be okay with this, hand it out in cash to random homeless people.
But then they wouldn't be making profit.
I am saying I would rather a crazy homeless guy walking around just spitting, have $100,000 in cash stuffed in his pockets if it means the military-industrial complex is not funding and starting more needless nonsense wars and blood.
We'd be way less in debt.
I'm bullish on the military-industrial complex these days.
Think about the economic boom of all the homeless people buying cheeseburgers and sub sandwiches. Subways would pop up everywhere.